WWE Backlash 2026, aka all the matches we didn't do or couldn't do at WrestleMania. And it's the Icon back with a wrestling review for you. And before we get started, hit that notification bell, like and or subscribe. Check out my other videos, my other reviews. We got Daredevil, the finale coming up soon. And let's get started with a little Backlash, which was live from Tampa, Florida. And the colors were blue, and I'm not sure why the colors were blue. But let's get this off. Let's kick it off. Let's get started with our first match of the evening, which was a match that we were supposed to get originally at WrestleMania. And this one went right into it. It was the first match of the night. It was Braun Breaker, which was the free hour. Braun Breaker versus Seth freaking Rollins. And even at WrestleMania, if they would have did this match at WrestleMania like they had originally planned, Rollins was always, it was like I still feel like Rollins was always going to lose because the whole thing was, you know, he was trying to get revenge on the Vision for taking him out and everything, but they kept pumping in our brains that Braun Breaker's the future, he's the future, he's the future. You can't keep telling us he's the future, and then he loses to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, which was the grandest stage. So they gave him the moment he was supposed to get at Mania, and and he did pretty good too, like. He looked like a champ, like he had the physical imposing presence. There was a moment where Seth came off the top rope. He tried to do a super stomp, and then he got hit with the spear, and then Braun got up. Now, when Braun hit him with the second spear, that was probably the slowest spear I've ever seen Braun Breaker do. Usually there's more like velocity, like there's more force behind it. This one actually wasn't really all that powerful, but I mean, you just hit him with one out of the air, so when you hit him with a second one, he definitely wasn't kicking out of that. And Seth, you know, like he was defeated by Braun Breaker, and the future is now. On the post show, they were talking about how like he's almost 40, and if he's got enough juice left in the tank. And of course, he was like, I'm a visionary. You know, he's like, he'll be back. He said that he understands that nobody wants to be his friend, that he burned a lot of bridges, and that it's him versus the world. So we'll see what happens, you know, with the Seth Rollins character. But according to him, he ain't done by the Vision, not by a long shot. Braun Breaker is your victor, as he should be. And we're moving on, which eventually will probably be Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns. The next match on the free hour was Sami Zayn versus Trick Willie. And I mean, to the people that are upset about the Gingerbread Man storyline, to the people that were pissed off over the funeral on SmackDown, I will say this. The whole gingerbread thing and having a funeral for the Gingerbread Man, that's definitely something Vince McMahon would have done. But the difference between Vince McMahon doing it and Triple H doing it, Vince McMahon would have legitimately done this as though the Gingerbread Man was a real person and expected everybody to take it 100% seriously as though this was a real thing that's happening in life. What's going on now with this particular situation, this is different because, yes, they had a funeral for the Gingerbread Man. Yes, everybody showed up and paid their respects and paid homage. People cried or whatever the case may be. But the entire point of them doing this was to troll Sami Zayn. Like, everybody knew it was bullshit. Everybody knew it was a hoax. Like, even Nick Aldis, he was in on it. Everybody was in on this hoax just for the sole purpose of trolling Sami Zayn, which worked because he was backstage on SmackDown crashing out over the fact that everybody's taking this seriously when he was like, oh, you're taking away precious TV time and everything. The whole thing was done just to make Sami look stupid. Like, Trick Williams is like, he gets the Troll of the Year award for that one, which is why I loved it and it was very entertaining. Somebody needs to tell Little Yachty that you can't yell at the referee when your guy is the one that has the advantage, because Trick was in his position where he could have beat Sami Zayn, and it didn't happen because Yachty was on the apron yelling at the referee. And I was like, bro, you actually fucking Trick's whole shit up. And then, you know, there was a moment where Sami keeps kicking Little Yachty. Like, he kicked him outside, but then Yachty came in and hit him with the Gingerbread Man cane or whatever. And then Williams hit the Trick shot, and much to the surprise of no one, Trick Willie retains the United States Championship with the entire Tampa screaming out, whoop that Trick. They asked Trick on the post show what he wanted to do next, and then he's like, we're not doing the open challenge thing. He said, you got to earn title shots. And then when they said, who do they think his next opponent should be, the crowd started chanting Melo. So I don't know, maybe Melo hasn't been seen since WrestleMania, since like the Friday of WrestleMania anyway, so I guess we're gonna get that Trick Melo gang, you know, like one more time. So we'll see what happens with that, if Melo's gonna show up and demand, you know, that he gets his title shot from Trick Williams, which will be fine. I mean, Trick's kind of a babyface right now and Melo's kind of a babyface, so I'm not a fan of doing this match when both of them are liked by liked by the audience, because I don't want the people to have to choose one over the other. And let's be honest, if they do choose one, they're probably going to choose Trick over Mello. So if anything, I would have Mello wrestle Sammy and then have Mello beat Sammy so the crowd will stay on his side, and then maybe do a triple threat match between Sammy, Trick, and Mello, because at least then you won't have to worry about one of these guys getting booed. Like I said, but that was it. Trick Willie does it again, and he came out with a black coat on SmackDown, which is awesome. And we can't wait to see which Trick he whoops next. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Danhausen thing. I mean, this match we were all... I feel, and this is my personal feeling, I feel like we were supposed to get this match at WrestleMania, and they decided to not do it, and instead do the foolishness with John Cena instead. Danhausen and his little minion Housens versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. Obviously, I mean, Kit Wilson and The Miz, their characters are portrayed as jokes, not serious competitors. So Danhausen, beat them along with his minions, and then they went backstage, and a fun time was had by all. But I said, like nothing actually went on here. And Danhausen was also at the post show, and they was running around running through people's pockets and everything. Like, he's low key like a heel. He does heelish shit, but you don't really pay attention because he be charging people for certain things. Like, he's actually a douchebag, but you don't really pay attention because of the theatrics of it all. But whatever. Danhausen gets another victory, and we'll see who's the first person who's actually going to pin him in a match. Next up was a match that we were supposed to get at WrestleMania, and then we didn't, and then Kyrie got fired, and now we're getting it at Backlash, and we're pretending like Kyrie doesn't exist. I mean, at the very least, Asuka could have said something like, oh, I had to get rid of Kyrie because she was dead weight, or she, disrespected me, or she didn't do the job that she was supposed to do. I mean, like, something could have been said, but Io Sky versus Asuka, and the ending of this was pretty weird. I mean, Asuka was dressed like Mr. Iguana, but it was supposed to be a dragon symbol. And when it was over, Io won, obviously. She won with the moonsault off the top rope. But then when Io won, she spoke to Asuka a little bit, and then, both of them started crying, and then they hugged each other, and then respect was given. And then they were just like, oh, Io finally defeated, her mentor. She defeated her mentor. We're still not bringing up the fact that Kyrie got, disappeared. But it was weird because the way they were treating it was though Asuka was retiring, and that was her retirement match. First of all, it can't be her retirement match because, one, Gunther wasn't around. And two, she didn't take the boots off or anything. And they didn't give her a moment to say goodbye to the crowd, because if anything, after Asuka hugged Io, Asuka was the one who left the ring. And usually in situations where someone is about to retire, that person gets left in the ring to say goodbye to the audience, and they get the cheers from the crowd, and the person who beat them, they're the one that leaves and walks down the aisle. Asuka was the one who left. So, and like I said, she didn't take off her gloves or her boots or anything. So I don't know. I think if anything, they're trying to babyface Asuka because Asuka's going to go to SmackDown. That's my prediction. Asuka's headed to SmackDown, and she's headed to SmackDown as a babyface because SmackDown desperately needs babyfaces. So this was their way of basically turning her babyface by finally making up with Io Sky, and then the two of them, reconcile. So Io's going to stay on Raw, and then Asuka's going to end up, going to end up on SmackDown. So that's that's actually my prediction. But I'd be really surprised if Asuka dead ass retires or if she quits or leaves WWE. But Io won the match, so this is what we would have got at WrestleMania. The only difference is because we got it at Backlash, we actually got more time for it, because if they did do this match at WrestleMania, the match probably would have taken 3 minutes. So good match by both ladies, and we'll see what Asuka's fate is, because like I said, I think she's going to pop up on Friday Night SmackDown. John Cena came into the ring after this and made an announcement. He basically said that they're going to have a tournament with Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whoever. And the winner of this tournament, they didn't mention if women were going to be involved, if they were going to do a women's one. But and I feel like this is something that Tony Khan does on AEW, where he does tournaments and gives out belts for tournament wins. And I feel like this is an AEW thing. But John Cena said that they're going to win the tournament. And I was like, okay, cool. He said that when they win the tournament, they're going to get a championship belt. I was like, okay, cool. He didn't say what comes with the championship belt. He didn't say the purpose of the champion. It's not like he said the winner of this championship belt automatically becomes the number one contender. He didn't say that. But then he said the champion is people are going to wrestle tournament style, I guess. But he said the champion is going to be determined by the fans. And that's when he lost me, because he said that the fans are going to get to vote on who the champion is or who gets to go to the next round. And I'm like, first of all, I don't even understand what the point of this tournament is. Second of all, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard, because one thing in professional wrestling, you never give the fans the right to vote, because the fan vote is never based on actual talent. The fan vote is never based on skill, on the person who deserves it, on who has the better charisma, mic skills, whatever the case may be. It's a popularity contest. People are just going to vote for the person they like, even if that person sucks. Like, the fact that you left this up to a fan vote, probably Tiffany Stratton or Danhausen's going to win this shit now. And I'm like, that killed it. Like I said, I don't even know what he's doing. I don't know what the point of he was fine. He was on the right path. I was with him. But then as soon as he said the fan vote, I was like, nah, you lost me, because this is going to be stupid. It's going to be trash, and the fans are like, first of all, we already know nobody black is getting picked. Like, we know that for a fact. I said it's going to end up being like Tiffany Stratton or Danhausen are going to be the two people that that win this shit if they do one for men and one for women. And it's just like there's no purpose. And then for the person that wins this championship, like, what are they going to do? The only decent thing was they said that NXT people were going to be involved, but they're probably going to get crushed. And the mainstream audience doesn't know NXT like that anyway, so the NXT wrestlers aren't even going to get voted on. So I'm just like, whatever. John Cena tried. He said, and he did say that during his thing. He said, we'll give this a shot and see what happens, but it's going to fall flat. And then hopefully they restructure it and take the fan vote out of it, and then try to make it like a serious tournament where the person who does win this championship belt at least becomes #1 contender or something like that. Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns closed the show. And during this match, they made Jacob Fatu look like Obafemi, where Roman was clotheslining him. It wasn't working. He was hitting him, pushing him, shoving him. It wasn't working. Jacob just kept getting up, and kept coming. And then I started thinking to myself, now when Roman faces Obafemi and Oba doesn't sell any of his shit, it's probably not going to hit as hard as it would, because you didn't let like you said, you just didn't let Jacob do all that shit. But Roman did struggle. Roman definitely did struggle to beat him. He even exposed the turnbuckle pad at one point. The Usos never came out to help him, which I thought was crazy, because, I thought the whole point of him asking for the bloodline to be put back together was so they could help him cheat to win like they did before. Jacob went for a splash. Roman ducked. Jacob hit his face on, on the exposed steel. And I believe Roman had to hit him with like 3 spears in order to put him away. And then he finally pinned him, and he beat Jacob Fatu. And then after he pinned him, Jacob Fatu immediately popped up and put him in the Tongan vice grip. And then he wouldn't let it go. And instead of him doing the thing where he goes to the top rope and does like 17 moonsaults and like crushes the person's internal organs, he just kept coming back and kept Tonga gripping him like over and over and over again, to the point where like Roman was drooling all over the title. Roman was drooling at one point, like Jacob was drooling at one. It was actually very disgusting. When it was over, when they finally got Jacob out of the ring, he went up to the ramp, and then he was just like, I'm off the chain with it, no breaks with it, and he was doing his thing and everything. And he was like, he's not done with the bloodline, and he's like, I'm coming 5-2. And then Roman finally got up. And then when they interviewed Roman, and then Kathy was like, oh, what are your thoughts? Roman said, we should have never let Jacob in the company to begin with, and today was his last day. So I don't know if he's going to try to get Pierce or Aldis to fire him. He's going to try to get Triple H to fire him. But that's not going to go well, because Jacob's going to crash through the building, and he's going to get his revenge. So that means this thing with Jacob and Roman, it's not over yet. Like, it's going to continue a little bit further, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. So Jacob's probably going to be an official Raw guy after all this is over, and we'll see what happens. But it's going to be a wild ride to see how long Roman actually shows up to to do this feud, because it's involving his cousin. Maybe he'll be here more than he usually is. That was how the show ended, with Roman Reigns reigning supreme, much to the surprise of nobody. And thank you for tuning in. So I give this show like a C+. Like, it was a good show, but it wasn't really spectacular. Like, the Danhausen thing was pointless, and the John Cena thing kind of killed me. You knew Trick was going to win. You knew Roman was going to win. So that means like the Braun Seth match was the only match that nobody knew what the outcome was. That was the only surprise match of the night with the outcome. And even there were some people a lot of people did feel like Braun was going to win that match. But share your questions, comments, and concerns. What did you think about WWE Backlash 2026? What do you think about my predictions? What I said about the John Cena situation, my predictions as far as Asuka going to SmackDown, and let's continue to talk about it. Check out my other reviews because, like I said, I got Daredevil Born Again for all you Marvel fans. I got the season finale of Daredevil Born Again, and I also got like previous wrestling pay-per-views and wrestling PLEs and everything in between. And I said that we got some other stuff coming up on my second YouTube channel, Bright Eyes Media. So look forward to that as we keep dropping these bombs. Punisher coming next week, and we'll keep bringing it to you on Red Eyes Entertainment. So that was it, guys. So thanks for tuning in. So until next time, for the next pay-per-view or the next PLE, it's Backlash 2026, and we're out this bitch.